AEW officially releases the footage of the CM Punk and Jack Perry backstage altercation at AEW All In at London's Wembley Stadium last night on AEW Dynamite. We have full reaction to this from the fans inside the arena last night, as well as reaction from Executive Vice Presidents of AEW, the Young Bucks, and CM Punk himself on social media. Will Osprey seemingly fires a shot back at Triple H for his comments seemingly about Osprey made during WrestleMania weekend. Okada accepts a challenge from Pac for the AEW Continental Championship at AEW Dynasty, and Samoa Joe defeats Dustin Rhodes in an AEW World Title Eliminator match last night on Dynamite. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and certainly the biggest story going into last night's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS was, would the footage actually be shown? Indeed it was. For the first time, we have footage of the backstage altercation between CM Punk and Jack Perry at AEW All In last year at London's Wembley Stadium. So let's get straight into this, as well as the reaction to this. I want to know your guys' thoughts. Get involved in the comment section below. And as promised, last night's AEW Dynamite featured the backstage altercation footage featuring now WWE superstar and former AEW World Champion CM Punk and Jack Perry. Now, amid speculation as to how the segment was actually going to play out, on last night's Dynamite, the EVPs, the Young Bucks, that being Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, came through on their promise to deliver the footage from backstage at AEW All In. Now, the instant footage was shown on last night's episode of Dynamite featuring CM Punk and Jack Perry. This is just after Jack Perry's match against Hook at AEW All In on the pre-show. CM Punk comes in and seemingly confronts Jack Perry for saying what he said on camera, the real glass cry me a river comment that he made. This was something that Punk did explain on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, saying that he confronted him and asked him why he was saying these things and playing to the internet and what have you. Jack Perry seemingly says something back to CM Punk right there. CM Punk listens to what he says, turns around, is not happy by what he said clearly, and points and continues talking to Jack Perry. Jack Perry says something back to him right now, which you can see on the screen right there. You can also see other wrestlers around. Punk then shoves Perry, seemingly tries to get him in a guillotine choke, which you can see right there as well, leading to having to be separated by AEW officials. Now, Punk seemingly then does lunge over to where it's reported that Tony Khan was sitting behind the monitors. He is then guided away by the likes of Jerry Lynn. Chris Hero is also there as well. Here at Malachi Black's also there. Hero grabs his face and can't believe what's going on there. That is the footage in question. Now, as far as the reaction inside the arena, we do have that as well. Here was the reaction of some of the fans in attendance last night whilst this footage was playing on the screen inside the arena.
Punk was right. Yeah, that's right, Punker! Yeah, Punk. That's right, Punk. Yes, sir. Threaten the life of Tony Schiavone and all. CM Punk! CM Punk!
Now, with the EVPs, the Young Bucks, giving details surrounding the footage by noting that it was relevant, since they were distracted from chasing a win at AEW All In because they had to deal with this stupid incident. After the footage was shown, FTR came out and Cash Wheeler gave a passionate promo questioning why this was still being discussed 8 months later. Wheeler would punctuate his point by calling the Young Bucks petty little bitches. However, Dax Harwood got on the mic and noted that while the Young Bucks are right when they say they started AEW, but somewhere along the way they lost their commitment to AEW. Dax pledged that through the hard work of people like FTR, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, Daniel Garcia, Willow Nightingale and others, they would continue to build the company because they all actually want to be there. Of course, FTR will take on the Young Bucks for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships at the upcoming AEW pay-per-view AEW Dynasty. Now, we do have some reaction from some of the people not only involved in the incident in question, but also people involved in the segment last night on AEW Dynamite. Of course, as I mentioned, after the footage was shown, it was narrated by the Young Bucks trying to weave it into AEW storyline. And since then, the Bucks, who of course do have issues with CM Punk, have taken to social media and posted the following tweet saying EVP Petty. So EV Petty, kind of playing on their EVP titles and calling themselves Petty. Meanwhile, CM Punk, he's also reacted in the form of his Instagram stories, as he always does, posting a picture right there of George W. Bush, the former United States president, in front of a banner reading Mission Accomplished. Now, if you're not familiar with what this is referencing, Bush famously made the Mission Accomplished appearance in May 2003. However, America remained in combat operations in Iraq for another 8 years as well. Elsewhere, weighing in, Ariel Helwani reacted with a quick edit of both CM Punk's description of events as well as the events as they occurred, along with his appraisal that they lined up as well. Now, Tony Khan actually, prior to the footage airing last night on AEW Dynamite, did conduct an interview, once again explaining his rationale for airing the footage on Dynamite, also discussing for the first time really publicly CM Punk's interview that he did with Ariel Helwani too. Now, ahead of last night's Dynamite, Tony Khan spoke to Uproxx, where he detailed the upcoming airing of the backstage footage, which we did eventually see last night, claiming the segment is must-see. He said, quote, "It'll be a must-see segment when the Young Bucks play this footage and talk about what happened at Wembley Stadium and how it relates to what's coming up next for the Young Bucks in AEW. I think that it will create a lot of interest in what this is all about. And I think the Young Bucks will have an explanation for why they think this is important and why it's relevant to what's going on at AEW Dynasty on pay-per-view." Now, when the topic of Punk's interview came up with Helwani on the MMA Hour, Khan noted that the timing was interesting, but it was the right time to air the footage unrelated to Punk's interview. He said, quote, "That was interesting timing, given where everything stands. For us, this is a decision based on the timing of our upcoming pay-per-view AEW Dynasty, and given where the Young Bucks stand going into the World Tag Team Championship Tournament Finals at AEW Dynasty. This was the right time and place for them to play this footage and talk about why it's relevant to them and AEW going forward and what this means going into AEW Dynasty." So what do you make of everything that you saw last night? What do you make of the footage? What do you make of the reaction to the footage? Now that it has aired, do you think it lines up with what CM Punk was saying? Does it paint Punk in a bad light? Does it paint AEW and Jack Perry in a bad light? Who do you think wins out of this? Does nobody win out of all of this? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Now, Will Osprey, he seemingly fired back against Triple H after some comments made by the WWE CCO during WrestleMania weekend that some perceived as a shot against the aerial assassin. And Will Osprey seemingly has fired back at WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque for insinuating that Osprey is not in it for the grind. Osprey used his promo time on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite show to respond to a thinly veiled jab from Triple H that seemed to be directed at Osprey during a Pat McAfee show appearance last Friday. In discussing not landing an unnamed free agent, or at least missing out on free agents, Triple H said, quote, "When I see people that come out of trying to make it and then they pick the job where they go, well, they work less, the schedule is lighter. All right then, I'm glad I didn't get you because you're not in it for the grind at that point early in your career. You have no business being here." In Osprey's response, he noted that he is delivering in the ring and had a theory as to why Triple H rose to the position of Chief Content Officer at WWE. He said, quote, "I am delivering some of the best professional wrestling matches this world has ever seen, bruv. Normally, I wouldn't rise to this type of bait, but seeing as the guy who said it is only in the position he is in because he was grinding on the boss's daughter, you are in no position to tell me what the grind is all about, my friend, because you have no idea what I fight for. So let this be a painful little jab back and a gentle reminder that you do not throw stones at an assassin with a machine gun." What do you make of Osprey's comments? What do you make of Triple H's comments? Was that the right thing to do? Let me know your reaction to that as well in the comment section below. Now, another match has been confirmed for AEW Dynasty. Kazuchika Okada accepted Pac's challenge during AEW Dynamite on Wednesday and will defend his Continental Championship against him at Dynasty on April 21st. Okada defeated Cristiano Argento in a brief match on Dynamite with a dropkick and a Rainmaker before grabbing the microphone and addressing his rival. He accepted the challenge, then Pac's music hit, and he started to make his way down to the ring before being attacked by the Young Bucks from behind. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson hit a double super kick on Pac as Okada held him in the ring, and FTR ran down to attempt to make the save. The Bucks hit an EVP trigger on Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, and Okada beat down Pac with a steel chair shot to the head. Okada joined up with the Elite, replacing Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega when he debuted for AEW on March 6. He defeated Eddie Kingston for the Continental Championship, breaking up the Triple Crown on March 20 edition of Dynamite. While Kingston lost the Continental title to Okada, his other two bouts, the Ring of Honor World Championship, now held by Mark Briscoe, and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship were not on the line. Following his victory, Okada was immediately challenged by Pac, and now that match has been confirmed. And finally, Cody Rhodes finished the story at WrestleMania this past weekend. Dustin Rhodes, though, didn't manage to finish his story on Dynamite. A few days after his brother Cody Rhodes finished the story and defeated Roman Reigns to become the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Dustin Rhodes faced Samoa Joe in an AEW World Championship Eliminator match on Dynamite. With his contract with AEW expiring very soon, Rhodes' future in the company is still unknown. The April 10 edition of Dynamite kicked off with Samoa Joe coming out for the AEW World Championship match. However, while he was making his entrance, Swerve Strickland unleashed a vicious assault on his AEW Dynasty opponent. This heated up the excitement among fans for their match at Dynasty. However, Samoa Joe versus Dustin Rhodes was shifted to the main event of the show. The legendary star used Joe's bruised up body to get ahead of the champion early. However, distraction for the referee was enough for Joe to pick up a victory against Dustin. Joe is now set to defend his AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland at Dynasty, where they fired up feud between them. It would be interesting to see how this plays out between the both men on AEW pay-per-view. Now, what are your thoughts on the outcome, and what do you think the future is for Dustin Rhodes? Do you think he's going to stick around in AEW, or could we see him find his way back to WWE alongside his brother Cody? But there you go, guys. Latest WWE and AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.